Ladies and gentlemen, let me remind you today that everything in your life speaks. Your home, your space, your environment, it all carries a message. It reflects not only your taste, but your identity. It communicates your values, your priorities, and your understanding of purpose. You see, we often underestimate the power of small spaces, but I want to tell you today, what is small in size can be mighty in purpose. Transformation doesn't begin in palaces, it begins in intention. The front porch, that little corner of your house, is not just a space for potted plants and a welcome mat. It is the first impression of your kingdom. It is the threshold between the world and your sanctuary. So design it with vision, shape it with thought. Let it whisper peace and speak hospitality before a single word is spoken. Your front yard, oh, don't call it just grass. That is not a patch of dirt. That is your land. That is your ground of influence. Every seed you plant, every flower you place is an act of dominion. Beauty is not a luxury, it's a principle of the Creator himself. What he made, he called good. So when you landscape with purpose, you are partnering with divine order. You are not just making it pretty, you are bringing alignment, order, and harmony to your surrounding. Purpose transforms space, not size. This truth is foundational to how we must begin to see our homes, our environments, and our lives. Too often, people wait for more square footage, more money, more land, before they begin to invest in their surroundings. They believe transformation only comes when there is excess, but in reality, transformation is not about what you have. It's about what you do with what you have. It's not about the dimensions of a space, but the depth of your intention within it. When purpose enters a space, that space is no longer ordinary. It becomes meaningful. Purpose gives direction, it gives clarity, and it gives power to even the smallest corners of your home. Consider the front porch. Many people overlook it. They see it as just a step before the door, a transitional space. But when approached with purpose, the front porch becomes a place of welcome, a symbol of peace, an expression of identity. You don't need a grand terrace or sprawling steps to make an impact. A small bench, a well-placed plant, a lantern that gives soft light in the evening. These are not just decorative elements, these are decisions made with purpose. And those decisions speak. They say, this home is cared for, this place is loved, you are welcome here. The same principle applies to the front yard. It might be a tiny patch of grass or even just a narrow walkway, but when you bring purpose to it, it becomes a garden of intention, a space to express creativity, a place to nurture growth. You begin to see that space not for what it lacks, but for what it can become. A single planter box with herbs can turn a small yard into a sustainable garden. A few paving stones can transform a path into a journey. Purpose causes you to see possibilities, not limitations. When you live with purpose, you stop waiting. You stop delaying transformation until some distant day when you'll have more. You begin to operate in the now. You begin to understand that the size of your space does not define the significance of your life. A small balcony can become a sanctuary. A window ledge can host life in the form of flowers or vines. A narrow hallway can be filled with art that tells a story. Every corner has potential when purpose is present. Purpose also brings order. It eliminates clutter, not just physical, but mental and emotional. When you design with purpose, you are not just decorating, you are establishing meaning. You are choosing what belongs and what doesn't. You are setting boundaries and making room for what supports your well-being. In a world filled with distraction and noise, your space can become a haven, not because it is large, but because it is intentional. When purpose drives your decisions, your space begins to reflect your values. If peace is your value, your space will be calm. If growth is your value, your space will be nurturing. If hospitality is your value, your space will be welcoming. And when your space aligns with your values, it begins to serve you. It begins to nourish your spirit, support your goals, and inspire your future. We must shift our thinking. We must break free from the idea that abundance starts with quantity. True abundance begins with clarity of purpose. When you understand why you are creating a space, the how will follow. You'll be amazed at what you can do with little once you're driven by purpose. Purpose transforms space because purpose transforms the one who occupies it. Design reflects identity and vision. Every choice you make in your space is a reflection of who you are and where you believe you are going. Whether you realize it or not, your environment speaks for you even when you say nothing. It carries the silent message of your beliefs, your priorities, your values, and even your dreams. The colors you choose, the textures you place, the way you arrange your furniture or style your porch, these are not neutral acts. They are expressions of self. Design is the language of the unseen. It gives form to what is within and manifests it outwardly for others, and even yourself, to perceive. When someone walks into your home, they are walking into your world. Your front porch is not just the face of your house, it is the face of your mindset. Is it open and inviting or closed off and neglected? Does it say, come in, or does it say, stay away? That is not a matter of budget, that is a matter of identity. Who do you believe you are? What kind of experience do you believe you offer to others? Your design will answer those questions for you. And if your porch reflects vision, it sets the tone for everything that follows. You don't need grandeur, you need clarity. A simple plant, a handmade sign, a carefully chosen light fixture. All these communicate something deeper. They are the result of someone who knows what they want their space to say. The front yard is the first canvas of your personal landscape. It may be small, but it is still a platform for your vision. A flower bed arranged with care can be a testament to patience. A clean pathway, lined with stones, can speak of order. Even the most modest of lawns can reflect dignity and discipline. Vision gives direction to design. Without vision, a space becomes random, cluttered, and without voice. But when vision is present, even the smallest details contribute to a greater narrative. Design then becomes intentional storytelling, not with words, but with atmosphere. Indoors, this principle becomes even more personal. The indoor garden, the living space, the reading nook, the windowsill filled with life, these are not just decor choices. These are visual reflections of your inner world. If your space is chaotic, it may mirror a distracted mind. If your space is peaceful, it may reflect a heart that values stillness. The space we inhabit is not separate from us. It evolves with us, and we shape it as an extension of ourselves. That's why you can't design from trends alone. Trends change, but identity and vision anchor. When your design is rooted in who you are, it will never feel out of place. It will always feel like home. Your design choices also reveal your expectation of the future. Vision doesn't speak to who you are only, but who you are becoming. If you design a space that encourages creativity, it's because you believe you are a creator. If you create a peaceful retreat, it's because you believe you are worthy of rest. Design becomes a prophetic act. It declares in form what you believe in faith. You don't just decorate with what you like, you design according to who you are becoming. And the more you align your space with your vision, the more that vision becomes reality. Design that reflects identity brings authenticity. It becomes less about comparison and more about truth. You stop copying and start creating. You move from imitation to inspiration. Because you are no longer trying to be like others, you are trying to reflect what is already within you. That's where the power of design truly lies, not in the latest styles, but in timeless self-awareness. When you design with this understanding, your space becomes more than beautiful. It becomes personal, it becomes purposeful, it becomes alive with the story of you. Cultivate beauty as a form of dominion. Beauty is not merely decorative, it is powerful. It is a sign that something is under the rule of intention, care, and order. In the beginning of creation, the first evidence of dominion was the cultivation of a garden. That garden was not wild and chaotic. It was structured, fruitful, and beautiful. It reflected harmony between heaven and earth. In the same way, when you take your small space, whether a front porch, a narrow yard, or a simple indoor corner, and you cultivate beauty within it, you are exercising dominion. You are taking control over chaos, over neglect, over disorder, and you are imposing clarity, order, and meaning. Beauty is not a luxury, it is an assignment. When you beautify a space, you are declaring that the atmosphere matters. You are saying that your environment must agree with your values and your peace. A disordered space can create a disordered mind. But when beauty is cultivated, peace can take root. And this act of beautifying is not passive. It requires intention, discipline, and vision. It is an act of authority, a statement that you are not a victim of your surroundings, but the steward of them. No matter how small the space may be, it becomes sacred when you take responsibility for its appearance and its atmosphere. On the front porch, this dominion is visible in the details. A swept floor, a wreath on the door, a potted plant in bloom. These are not just design elements, they are evidence of rule. They reveal a person who takes authority over what they have been given, no matter how small. The porch becomes more than a passageway, it becomes a statement of presence and pride. Even if the space is limited, beauty cultivated there speaks loudly. It tells the world that dignity lives here, that excellence is not dependent on size, but on stewardship. In the front yard, dominion shows up in the care and arrangement of the natural elements, the trimming of hedges, the shaping of flower beds, the placement of stones or lights. All of these require effort and focus. You are not just maintaining a yard, you are shaping it to reflect a higher order. You are drawing lines, setting boundaries, choosing what grows and what does not. You are telling the soil what it must produce and the environment what atmosphere it must carry. Cultivating beauty in this space is an outward expression of inward authority. It reveals that you understand your role as a cultivator of what has been entrusted to you. Even within the home, indoor garden decor carries this same truth. A single shelf of plants in a kitchen window is not trivial, it is dominion. You are choosing to bring life, growth, and harmony into your space. You are not allowing the home to exist as a shell, but shaping it into a haven. That one act of placing a small pot, watering it faithfully, positioning it near the light, this is the posture of one who governs their environment. You may not govern nations, but you govern your space. And how you do that speaks volumes about how you will handle greater things. Beauty cultivated consistently also trains the spirit. It teaches you to see the invisible potential within the visible space. It helps you value what you have rather than lust after what you don't. It builds discipline because beauty must be maintained, and in this maintenance, character is formed. The process of cultivating beauty transforms not just your space but you. You begin to walk differently, you think more clearly, you operate with a greater sense of awareness and authority, because when you bring beauty into a place, you are not just decorating it, you are ruling it. You are taking your rightful place as steward and cultivator. You are declaring order in a world that often settles for chaos. You are exercising dominion.